If you clicked on this video, it's because you're a high school catcher or the parent of one that wants to play college baseball. You already know that to compete at that next level, you can't train just like every other kid at your high school. And it's going to take much more to actually get to that next level and be able to contribute and play a meaningful role on a collegiate roster. So here's the problem that I see. If the goal is college baseball, a lot of times families will just throw random inputs at this goal. So this can be things like showcases or sending emails, different types of training like hitting coaches, whatever you guys are doing in this pursuit of college baseball and everything that's included in that. I see you guys just throwing all of these variables at the goal, thinking that that's what's going to get you there. And in reality, yes, these things are going to get you to the college level if you do enough of them. But if you want to save some time and some frustration and some questioning of if you're doing the right things, we want to understand the complete timeline for catcher development from where they are right now to the level they want to get to. Everything is going to compound that much more because we're doing things at the right time with the right intentions. So instead of thinking about college baseball as just a series of boxes we need to check, so most guys will think, sub 2 pop time, box is checked. Sending out emails and posting on Twitter, cool, another box checked. Travel teams are, going to exposure tournaments this summer, box is checked. Instead, what we want to do is think about development as a catcher and the recruiting process as a timeline. So on one end of the timeline is essentially where your catcher is right now. And the next piece we want to understand is their goal. Now, a clear understanding of where the catcher is now, as well as a clear definition of their goal, are the first two and also the most important steps in this process, because without clear definitions of both of these points, everything along this path becomes fuzzy, and that's when we start to question if we're doing the right things or not see results as well as we could by simply going in order and allowing things to compound and get better over time. So once we've got this understanding of where the catcher is right now and essentially what their goals are, we can start to understand what this path actually looks like to get there. So for this example, we'll even use myself when I was in high school so that you can understand how to think about this development path and essentially apply it to your own situation. So when Coach Nick was a sophomore in high school, he was about 6'1". I was probably 170, soaking wet. I had about a 6'8", 60, and from the crouch, low 80s. So my goal, I just really wanted to play Division I baseball. I knew that I could probably play at a pretty decently high level, but more than anything, I wanted to play Division I. So if I was running this analysis on myself as a sophomore in high school, what I would basically tell myself is for a sophomore in high school, you have pretty plus tools, meaning your 60-yard dash is pretty good and your arm strength is definitely a plus. But for myself, because I was so tall, so 6'1", 170, I was tall and lanky. So a guy like myself should have gotten very serious on the physicality piece of the puzzle. So things like diet and proper strength training, as well as understanding how to balance that throughout a full fall, summer, off season, every part of the year, understanding how to balance a diet and proper strength training. And then because of my age, I would probably recommend going to some kind of baseline establishing showcase or event. And this is not necessarily with the intent of getting recruited right now or really expecting anything like that to come from it, but more to, number one, initially expose us to that environment. Often when catchers first go to showcases, they don't perform that well, especially if it's their first one, just because they are so unaware of the environment of a showcase and how to do it. So getting those out of the way early is going to help you when you're a junior or a senior attending these events. So number one, it's getting that initial exposure on paper. Number two, we're going to get a baseline evaluation of us. So metrics like our arm strength, pop times, 60-yard dash, sometimes a swing breakdown, whatever that event provides, we're going to get it in writing. We're going to get it as a grade from somebody outside of ourselves or mom or dad, whatever. Whether you agree with the evaluation they give you or not is a totally different video. But for now, we're going to have some kind of baseline established for ourselves. So once we have that initial understanding of where we stand, if I'm a sophomore in high school, here's where my tools are. And then you can even go and dig through whatever it was, PBR, perfect game, whatever, look through their databases and see the catchers that are attending the schools that you are dreaming of playing at. What did their metrics look like when they were sophomores, juniors, seniors? And essentially make a determination, are you on track? So at this point, you'll either have an on track understanding, we're behind track, or we're ahead of track. And that's going to determine how the rest of this path goes. So again, for myself, things like diet, proper strength training, all of that stuff is going to start getting sprinkled on this timeline with proper timing and in alignment with these goals. If my weight is 170 and I'm a sophomore, probably by junior year, I want to start getting that to like 180, 185 and start getting some real physicality to me. So if we understand, hey, within a year, we need to put on 15 pounds. That's a little over a pound a month. How much of a calorie surplus do we need to be eating in every single day to hit that goal? And then once that catcher has that understanding, we can teach them basic things like tracking food on their phone, making sure that they're eating in a surplus to be on track with these goals. And essentially, once the hard part of actually learning these skills and implementing them is out of the way, then they're on maintenance mode. They can take 5-10 minutes a day, plug in your food, and you're on track for your goals. But it takes that level of buy-in. And for me, what I've found is a clear understanding of the path and feeling like you have control over the path is what creates that buy-in, especially for our athletes, is getting them like, hey, you're in the driver's seat, you're in charge of this. Here's how this works. If you want to go from where you are now to your goal, all you need to do is really just hit these inputs day over day. And if you can't hit those inputs consistently, then you probably need to adjust your goals. And if you enjoy the way that we think about things and break things down here at Pro Point Catching, you might be a good fit for the College Ready Catcher program. Essentially what that is it's this whole graph, but we provide all of the training and all of the resources and all of the guidance and coaching that it takes to go through this. So if that's something that's interesting to you or your family, there's a link in the description of this video where you can check out that program and see if you want to schedule an evaluation with us.